I'm Abigail Harmon. I'm 35 years old and the CEO of one of America's most innovative ag tech companies. But last month, I stood outside my childhood home holding a carefully wrapped gift, and my brother looked me in the eye and said, "Park around back. Use the kitchen entrance." 10 years, a $10 million business, a Forbes cover, and I was still just the farm girl who wasn't good enough for the front door, until someone walked in and said, "Is Madam CEO here?" And suddenly, everything changed. Have you ever had to fight to be seen by your own family? Comment where you're watching from, and hit like and subscribe to hear how I made them say my name with respect. Growing up on our 800-acre family farm in Nebraska, I learned two things early. The soil was rich, and my place in it was not. "Abby, leave that to your brothers," my mom would say, gently guiding me away from the tractors. Jason and Curtis got the inheritance. I got handed a garden hose. At 8, I asked Dad if I could learn to drive the tractor like Jason. He didn't even look up. "Farming isn't for girls. You'll get married and move away. No point learning skills you won't need." By 9, Curtis, who's younger than me, was already operating the irrigation system while I watched from the porch, invisible. When I cried about it, Mom would whisper, "Your father means well. He just wants what's best." "How is being left out best for me?" I asked. She never had an answer. I turned to science. At 13, I built a tiny greenhouse in the corner of our land using scrap parts. I grew pest-resistant tomatoes and documented every test in a notebook. Dad passed it daily, never stepped inside. Once, I showed him a breakthrough crop. He barely glanced. "That's cute, Abby. Playing with plants is fine for a hobby, but it's not real farming." That hobby became my passion. My mother, quietly defiant, brought me seeds and once slipped me a brochure for the University of Nebraska's Agri Science program. When I got accepted on a full scholarship, I announced it at dinner. Dad's fork hit his plate. "College is a waste for a girl, especially in farming." "Maybe I'll run my own farm," I said. He laughed. Not cruel, just convinced I couldn't. "This land goes to your brothers. That's always been the plan." Then came the ultimatum. "If you go, don't expect to come back." College felt like stepping into a different world, one where I wasn't the girl on the farm, but a budding scientist. Professors judged me by my ideas, not my gender. Still, it wasn't easy. Without a dime from my family, I juggled 3 part-timer jobs: waitressing, shelving books, research assistant in the ag lab. My studio apartment above a laundromat smelled like detergent 24/7. The mattress was thin, the noise constant, but it was mine, and I paid for every square inch myself. Each month, I called home. Mom whispered updates. "Your father's in the fields," she'd say when I asked to speak with him. Every time. He never picked up. Junior year, my drought resistance project caught the attention of Dr. Eleanor Williams, a pioneer in sustainable agriculture. She became the mentor my father refused to be. "You think like a farmer, but build like a scientist," she told me. "Don't let anyone convince you that's not valuable." Under her guidance, I developed an irrigation system that cut water use by 30%. When I presented it at a university conference, I saw a familiar face in the back. My mom had come, without telling anyone. She hugged me fiercely afterward and whispered, "He should see you now." After graduation, I declined cushy corporate offers. I didn't want to sell my work to ag giants. I wanted to help farmers like the ones back home. With a grant and Dr. Williams' support, I launched Agrich Solutions in a converted warehouse in Omaha. My prototype failed field tests. Investors laughed me off. I maxed out 3 credit cards, slept on a cot in my office. One night, crushed by rejection, I called Rebecca, my best friend from college. "Maybe my dad was right," I said. "Maybe this isn't for me." She didn't let me spiral. Number. He was wrong at 18, and he's still wrong now. You're not failing. You're building. 6 months later, I landed my first investor by demoing the prototype right in a hotel lobby. That check, it saved my company. And maybe it saved me too. 10 years after I left, my mother emailed me, "Your father is turning 60. Please come." No apology, no mention of a decade of silence, just a line like nothing ever happened. Still, I went. I brought a vintage model of his first tractor, a peace offering. I wore a navy dress, modest heels, parked out front. But Curtis greeted me with a nod and said, "Guess park around back. Use the kitchen entrance." Even now, I wasn't family, just tolerated. In the kitchen, a woman I didn't know looked me up and down and asked, "Margaret, should your helper take out the appetizers?" Mom flushed. "This is my daughter, Abigail," the woman stammered. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize." I smiled, tight-lipped. "My brother told me to use the kitchen." Photos of Dad lined the hallway, his life in pictures. I wasn't in a single one past age 18. It was like I never existed. When I handed Dad his gift, he nodded and placed it, unopened, on the mantel. "Thanks for coming," he said, then turned back to his guest. I stood there, invisible, in my childhood home, until the front door burst open and a booming voice called, "Is Abigail Harmon here? Madam CEO of Agrich Solutions?" Marcus Thompson, president of the Regional Ag Bank, strode in. Eyes lit up. "There she is. Your systems are revolutionizing Midwest farming. I came just to meet you." The room froze. All eyes on me. My father's friends murmured, "Forbes cover? 30% water savings?" Marcus clapped me on the back. "Richard, you must be proud." My father's response? Abigail's always had her own ideas. Not, "I'm proud," just tolerated again. But the damage was done. The guests knew who I was. And for the first time in that house, so did everyone else. After dinner, I stepped outside to breathe. That's when Jason found me. He glanced at my boots, then said, casually brutal, "Use the kitchen if you're coming back in." Mom just cleaned the carpets. His boots were caked with mud. Mine weren't. "Mine are cleaner than yours," I said. He shrugged. "No need to make a scene, Abby. It's Dad's birthday." Number this wasn't about carpets. This was about putting me back in my place, publicly. Later, I found my father alone in the barn. The old tractor stood beside him. "Quite a stir you caused," he said without turning. I stepped forward. "What's the name of my company, Dad?" He blinked, hesitated, said nothing. 9 years. I've sent articles, photos. Do you even know? Silence. Agrich Solutions, I answered myself. We've helped over 500 farms. Across 12 states. We employ 47 people. You left, he snapped. You chose a different path. No, I said. You gave me no choice. You told me farming wasn't for girls. You said not to come back. His face hardened. We have different ideas about family. Apparently, in mine, family doesn't make their daughter use the service entrance. Jason interrupted, awkward. They're cutting the cake. I think I'll skip it, I replied. Dad's barely spoken to me all night. Abby, don't be dramatic, Jason said. I'm not, I said calmly. I'm setting boundaries, for once. As I walked out, I heard them whisper behind me, but I didn't stop. Not this time. That night, I told Rebecca everything. I walked away before the cake. She didn't hesitate. I'm proud of you. Boundaries aren't dramatic. They're healthy. The next morning, I went back. Not for them, for me. I'm not leaving without saying what I need to say. In the living room, I faced them all. I won't be treated like an outsider anymore. I'm your daughter. I built something. I deserve to be seen. And for the first time, they listened. 6 months later, I returned, not as a guest, but as a consultant. My father had called. He wanted my help updating the irrigation system. It wasn't warm, but it was something. We walked the fields together, side by side. Your mother says your systems saved us 14% this season, he said. That's significant. He didn't say, I'm proud, but he didn't need to. On Thanksgiving, I pulled into the front driveway. No one told me to move. No one told me which door to use. My niece ran up first. "Are you the water lady?" "I guess I am," I laughed. But I used to be just the girl no one saw. Inside, the family photo above the fireplace had changed. This time, I was in it. Later that evening, my father surprised me. "Farming's changed. We should have listened to your ideas sooner." It wasn't a perfect apology, but it was real, and for him, monumental. He paused, then added, "Your mother made me look through every article." She kept them all. I blinked back tears. I had chased his validation for years. Thought if I just achieved more, one day he'd see me. But standing there, I realized I didn't need it anymore. I knew my worth, with or without him. Have you ever had to fight for your worth in a family that couldn't see you? Share your story in the comments. Like and subscribe if this resonated with you. And remember, sometimes the back door they send you through is exactly where you find your front.